Well, I listened to the beginning of it when Grassley made his statement, and then Dianne Feinstein was making her statement, and she was, of course, she tried to take over. She said, well, I'm going to introduce her, and Grassley said, well, you can do that. You can go ahead. I was going to introduce her just before I put her on. He was holding off. So she tried to take that over, and, of course, then she was disputing everything that he had said. And they're making this woman out, and I guess if anything really happened, whether it was Kavanaugh or another man, 2 men have come out confessing that they're the ones who groped her and did this. And, it would scare a 15-year-old. And in her defense on the radio, if we're listening on the radio, we can't see body language. I rely a lot on body language. And I was watching her while Grassley was talking. And I was watching the body language. And, of course, you can't tell a whole lot, but at that point because she wasn't speaking. And I would be nervous if I was having to talk before a bunch of people. I'd be even more nervous if I was getting ready to tell a whole bunch of lies. But, it's got to play out. I don't think it should have had to play out. I think when they couldn't find any evidence to any of this being any truth to it, it should have dropped right then and there. But no, we've had to join the circus. So anyway, thank you, Joe. I appreciate your comments on that, your input. I want to move on just a little bit here now. Because I want you to understand, this circus that we're watching is just one. It's just one. You've got several rings in the circus. It's just one that we're watching. So while they're doing this, and America's caught up in the Peyton place, behind the scenes, they've been working on a spending bill. Now, I know he's probably not listening, but I know that somebody listens to this show because I hear my words quoted on other very large shows. And I know they didn't come up with them by themselves. Not that I'm a genius, but it's just where I live and where I'm coming from. But the spending deal breaks promises to you, the voters. Conservative lawmakers are telling us that. They're not happy with it. And I heard a little bit of Jim Jordan last night. This is written by Rachel Day Guidance. And it's coming from the Daily Signal, which is part of Heritage Foundation. Conservative lawmakers say they are disappointed with a lack of conservative priorities in a new spending package, some saying it goes against stipulations President Donald Trump outlined when signing the last spending bill. You remember he said, I'm not going to sign another one like this? Well, this is where I said, I know the president isn't listening, but somebody's listening. And I'm going to say, don't worry about shutting this government down. We, the people, will stand with you. Do not sign this bill. And I'm also okay if you fire that Rosenstein guy. That's not going to sway my vote any more than this hearing is going to sway any of the Democrat votes today. No matter what gets said today, they could come out with somebody that put this woman completely down, and they're still not going to vote for Kavanaugh. This hearing is not relying, or their vote is not relying on this hearing. And the president's vote and the Republican votes are not relying today with me on whether or not the president shuts this government down. I'm just as angry with these Republicans as I am with the Democrats. Because, like I said, they're like these little schoolboys out on the playground that can't fight the bully. They think, Beth, you're a violent person. I was at a ball game last night. I had a grandson playing a ball game and baseball. And there was this little boy and his mommy over here. And the little boy, I don't know what he wanted, but he got very upset. Yeah, they call them meltdowns these days. We used to say throwing a fit. And I'd warm the backside of my kids if they did that. Give them something to cry about. So she finally took him to a bleacher set that was way beyond where we were. And he's still throwing this fit. He's still crying. He's still crying. He's still making noise. He's still protesting. Why aren't we? Why aren't we protesting? Why aren't we making noise? Why aren't the Republicans making noise and throwing a fit? Instead, they just cower down. Now, I'm not advocating that children throw fits. But he was standing his ground, this kid. Americans elected Republican majority to the House and the Senate to rein in the federal spending and return to regular order. I don't know where regular order is. How far back are we going to have to go? They had this in the bill to rein in the spending. But when it got to the Senate, they took it out. So as we had said the other day, they are going to continue to fund Planned Parenthood. I don't know why that doesn't make you angry. Even if you are for abortion, this should make you angry. Tax dollars should not be paying for their, it's not health care, for their abortion. You know, I remember, of course I'm old, but I remember when insurance companies wouldn't even pay for birth control pills. That was a choice. That was not necessarily something for your health back in that day. Now, it's almost mandatory. Well, Senator Lee's not happy, said the provisions including stopping taxpayer funding of Planned Parenthood and eliminating federal funding of research on aborted tissues and legislation protecting pro-life individuals and groups from discriminating in funding. They left it in there, or they put it back in. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of fed up with this. And that's why I think you need to be throwing a fit. Don't get ugly about it. Get adamant. The number should be in your phones or taped by your telephone. 202-224-3121. Call it. Tell them not to do this. Tell President Donald Trump, I'm still going to vote Republican if you shut the government down. Tell him. 877-895-5410 is the number to call. When we come back, we're going to talk about patriotism and sovereignty. The president mentioned that in the UN address. Man, dirty words. And we will be right back.